Who will believe my verse in time to come, if it were filled with your most high deserts? Though yet heaven knows it is but as a tomb which hides your life and shows not half your parts. If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers number all your graces, the age to come would say this poet lies. Such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces. So should my papers, yellowed with their age, be scorned like old men, of less truth than tongue, and your true rights be termed a poet's rage, and stretched metre of an antique song. But were some child of yours alive, that time you should live twice, in it and in my rhyme. That was Sonnet 17. Yeah, this one's great. I think we've hit the end of the procreation sonnets. I've taken a sneak peek at next week, and next week is a very well-known sonnet, Sonnet 18, and it's not really procreation focused. So yeah, I think we've reached the end of this tactic, maybe. I don't know what you call it, but this is a gorgeous one, and it's really thought-provoking. The idea of, like, verbal storytelling as a medium of, like, the transfer of information. Like, this concept of, like, I could write it down, what I see, but no one's going to believe it. And that got me thinking about, like, the written word, and I guess the spoken word too, of, like, things that have been passed that we can't see anymore, have this, like, really sometimes have this really fantastical aspect to them. So like Cleopatra, Alexander the Great, these ancient personalities are, like, larger than life to us because of these, the records that we have. We don't have pictures, we don't know what they looked like, but we know what people wrote, and what they wrote really painted a larger than life picture. And so I thought that was very interesting, the idea of, like, writing as a form of, like, picture taking. So it's all trying to capture a present moment in a permanent form, and I mean, some more permanent than others, but yeah, it's, and I always come back to these, like, weird science analogies, but it's like heat loss, friction loss. It's like, you can, depending on the medium you use, you can capture 99% of something, but you're never going to get 100% of it. It's this irreversible reaction of, like, trying to copy something completely, but you can, even, like, the most, like, I mean, you see it with, like, CGI effects in movies. It's like, like, comparing, like, the 80s to now, like, things look amazing, but you can still tell that it's not real, even though it's, like, to the tiniest little, like, super detail, almost imperceptible. You can just kind of tell. And so that got me thinking about, using that metaphor from, like, a transfer of information, and, like the telephone game. Like, you lose some information when a story is told. A writer to a reader, there's an incomplete transfer of thoughts. And so it got me thinking about, like, does the conservation of mass and energy apply to ideas? I'm way on a tangent. I apologize, but this is what Shakespeare does. It makes you think about stuff. But, like, and well, it got kind of, like, current event-y when I thought about how, in this, like, age of social media where most people get their news from social media, it's like people don't, I feel like, truly appreciate the distinction between information, facts, and opinions, and the relationship of the transfer of information in an age where most things have never been more capable of relaying the truth, right? We live in an age of, leaked emails and security camera footage, like, everything's on tape. Everything is, like, everything's available. You're not relying on like eyewitness accounts for things, and yet we still misinterpret things on a regular basis. And I just thought that was, I don't know how I ended up on that subject from. It's amazing the little connections that you can make. It's what you get with really beautiful poetry. This was a fun one. Really, if I could paint the beauty of your eyes, I mean, Shakespeare, come on, man. That's great stuff. Yeah, some of my favorite language, that section. I need to do a little more research and figure out when these things were written. If they were, I don't know if they were written numerically, like chronologically, but this just seems more polished and refined than some of his other sonnets. So that'd be something. I'll try to make a mental note of that and look that up in the future, but this is a fun one. Sonnet 18 next week. And here's a fun thing. I'm actually going to do that sonnet from another country. I'm going on a little mini vacation to Scotland. I leave on Thursday. And so I think I'm going to do my sonnet from Scotland on Sunday next week. So I don't know how the time's going. I'm going to figure out how the timing is going to work. But that'll be fun. So thank you for watching.